Good morning, everyone. Today is the 18th of December, Monday. I just want to go over a few things. What I want to cover today in this video is when we're trying to find our way out of this box and expand our mind and free our mind from this prison cell that has been placed upon it by the propaganda and the abusive systems of governance that control us. We cannot lean on the abusive systems of control and the governments that have propagandized us and the experts that have perpetuated the illusion onto us. That is slave think. That's not even thinking. You're not even thinking. That's called shallow thinking, okay? Shallow thinking. You are not using your reasoning. You are not sitting there and going, well, let me go ask my slave masters how they enslaved me and why they enslaved me and how to get free. That's literally what you're saying by putting any trust, any kind of credence, any kind of relying on the authority or the expertise of these people. You have Stockholm syndrome. If you cannot, when you come to terms with this in your recognition and acceptance phase of your healing, if you are continually going back and comparing things and saying, well, that can't be true because this is how this works and blah, 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 blah. And you're going off of what you learned in school or what you see on TV on the news or what you hear on the radio or what your politicians or religious leaders or your teachers told you, you are keeping yourself enslaved. You are fighting yourself because you're trying to find your way out, but you're trying to lean on the truthfulness. I can't remember the word keeps escaping me that I'm looking for. Veracity. You're relying on the veracity of another. That means you're leaning on them and trusting, having faith. And again, if you watch my videos on faith and belief and what they are, and this matrix illusion and how it's set up through faith and belief. It all starts with faith and belief by putting your faith and belief on something outside of yourself, okay? As soon as you start doing that, you are right back on the rigmarole, on the hamster wheel of the slavery. This is all about trusting yourself. Now, what I want to cover is I want to sort of hit that home because people aren't understanding. Okay, they think that, oh, well, okay, they lied to us about this, but this is true. They lied to us about this, but this is true. They lied to us about this, but they wouldn't do that. They lied to us about this, but, oh, come on now, that's just a conspiracy theory. Okay, so I just want to cover some things that are known facts that you can search up for yourself, you can find for yourself. It's well known, it's documented. Everything I'm about to go over is documented. How evil, how manipulative, how against our well-being and health these things are, that are all part of these institutions and systems of governance and industries that make money off our back and off our attention and off our worship and off our time and our energy. Again, guys, government comes from the word gubermente. It's a Latin word, gubermente. The first part of that word, guber, G-U-B-E-R, means to control. The last part of that word, mente, M-E-N-T-E, means the mind. Gubermente, to control the mind. That is literally what the word government means. Okay? So if you're sitting there going, well, how do we fix the government? You don't fix something that is meant to control your mind. It's already doing what it's supposed to do. It's operating exactly as it should. All the chaos, all the confusion, all the distress, all the stress itself, all of that is all part of the mind control. The government. The government is to control the mind. How do they control the mind? They know exactly how to control the mind. They throw an illusion over reality. They skew it just a little bit. They give you a bunch of truths and just skew it just a little bit. And they just keep on skewing it until you're like, you were going this way and now you're going all the way out here. And next thing you know, you're going to 180. You're going completely backwards. And that's what they've got us doing. Humanity has not evolved. Humanity has devolved, okay? That is what they're doing to us. They're dumbing us down from day one. We are born whole, all-knowing, all-intelligent, all-wise, all of that, okay? We have it all. They are literally stripping us of our powers when we're born. That is the only way they can control us. Because for us to get through all these, like for me, let's take me, for example, 44 years of physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual, mental abuse and trauma, and to get here and still be able to question my masters and pull myself free is just a testimony. And you guys in your own situations, whatever they are, is just a testimony to how powerful our minds in our natural innate state of being is. They can't hold us down. We hold ourselves down. They have tricked us into poisoning ourselves with food. They have tricked us with all their propaganda through our eyes and our ears and our entertainment that keeps us numb and mocks us and makes us feel stupid and makes us laugh at our own abuse. So just keep that in mind. Government comes from the Latin word gubermente, to control the mind, okay? And to break free from the mind control and to free yourself, your own mind, you can't go to the mind control. That's crazy. That's foolish. It's foolish. You're a fool if you do that, okay? And it takes time. It takes time because you've been relying on daddy government for all your safety, all your needs, all your comfort, everything. If without daddy government, the black people would be over here running across this country killing everybody. Without daddy government, this country would be over here killing everybody. Without daddy government, there'd be rape and pillaging in the streets. They see, government creates the problem in order to have a problem to come in like a savior and fix for you. That's the way it works, guys. If you don't know, the fire departments got started back in the late 1800s, okay? They would go to these fires and they would let a house burn down if more than one fire department, because it was individual fire departments. So these fire departments would show up at a fire and they would literally fight and kill each other right there in front of the burning house and let the house burn down if one team didn't win before the other, in order to fight each other because they were trying to get control. Same thing with your police departments. Your police departments were made to protect the rich back in the 1800s. That's what the police department was set up for. It was not set up to protect you. It was set up to protect the government and the rich and powerful. Period. That's the history of your fire departments, of your emergency services that you call 911 for. Okay? That's where they come from. They're not there as a service to you. They're there because they prop themselves up as these saviors, but they require all this money, all this attention, all this. You got to relinquish all your power. When the police are around, you better do what the fuck they say to do, or they're going to abuse the fuck out of you, throw you in handcuff you and kidnap you and put you in a prison cell. And then you got to go in front of the judge, who is just as corrupt and nasty because the lawyers, you think your lawyer is working for you. The lawyer, when they go through their, what is it called? When they go through law school, at the end of law school, and they have to do their oath or whatever to whatever that is, their stupid ass fucking ritual they do, they pledge allegiance to the court system, not to you. They pledge allegiance to the court system. So keep all this in mind, guys. Okay, the first one. So what I'm going to give is just examples of outright piracy and outright abuse and outright manipulation and outright deception, outright, just nasty shit that the government is a part of, that we pay our taxes for, okay? Civil asset forfeiture. This means that any time a cop pulls you over, he can go. They don't do it. That what they do. This is mainly highway patrols that do this, and they profile vehicles. Okay, they'll sit on the highways and they profile vehicles, and they intentionally pull over certain vehicles that they know, because they've been doing this so long. They pull over certain vehicles they know are traveling, and what they do is they'll come up to the window and they'll be like, hey, and they act like your friend and everything, and then they go, oh, well, you're doing this, or yeah, I'm just, hey, buddy, I'm just harassing you. I'm just looking for a reason to fucking fuck with you and abuse you. But what they'll do is they say, hey, do you have any drugs? And they don't give a fuck about drugs. No, man, I don't do drugs. No, fuck. What are you talking about? I got my family in here. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. Do you have any, cash or valuables, jewelry, anything like that you're carrying with you today? And you're sitting there and you're going, well, yeah, we're moving from state to state, so I have my cash. I have everything with me. Oh, so you do have cash? Well, yeah, I have cash. And do you have jewelry? Yeah, I got, we got jewelry. Oh, okay. How much cash do you have on you? Well, our life savings, we have about $45,000. Okay, yeah. How much jewelry, value of jewelry you think you got on you? I don't know. My wife's probably got about $15,000 worth of jewelry. Okay. I'm going to have to ask you to step out of the car. And then what they do is they go through the whole process. They end up taking that money, that jewelry, and they will give you a piece of paper. And you can go online, if you've never heard of this, civil asset forfeiture. And they take literally billions of dollars a year away from American citizens who have done literally nothing wrong, and they steal their life savings. And the very few people, it's a very small percentage of people that get their money back or their valuables back. And when they do, it's usually after between 1 to 2 years of several different, court cases. And then it's usually only a percentage that they get back, like a 50%, 25%, and then they have to pay their lawyer fees. So, that all their life savings got taken, they were moving to a new place, all their life savings got taken, and then they had to end up in the court system for 2 years to try to fight. And think about it, if they get pulled over in, let's say, Alabama, and they're moving from Georgia all the way out to, Colorado, they had their court is being held in Colorado or in Georgia, in Alabama. So they got to drive all the way back. It's a nightmare, guys. And this happens every fucking day. Every day. Do you guys know that the, what was it? I think it was the New Hampshire State Police just got busted for writing 20,000 false citations for traffic related to beef up their income. Guys, our policing is the most corrupt system in the world. Not to mention we have the most people locked up imprisoned in the whole world, by far. And then you want to talk about the blacks who were wrongfully imprisoned between the 40s and the 80s and spent between 40, 50, 60 years in prison for a crime they didn't commit, and finally got adjudicated and released, with the government admitting, oh, sorry, we locked you up for no reason. So these are things to think about. Taxes, man. I'm taxed at 30% of my income right off the dick. So I work Monday and half a Tuesday for free. At a 5-day work week, I work Monday and half a Tuesday for free for the government. So that way the government can send our innocent young men and women to wars all over the world to kill other innocent young men and women, poor. Mind you, rich people don't put their never have, never will. Rich people do not put their children in the military unless they put them straight in as a what is that called? God damn it, man, it's escaping me. Whatever, I can't even remember right now. I'm having a brain fart, but a higher ranking. They put them through college, and then they have them go in, and they usually aren't on the battlefield, right? So they send poor people, okay, to go fight wars for their special interest and kill other poor people all over the world, okay, with my taxes, with your taxes. They're, oh my God, road pirates. I call them road pirates. Then they got the King's Highway, where the toll booths. They're supposed to be using our taxes for, fixing this and fixing that and taking care of this, taking care of that. They don't. We're taxed so heavily, it's unreal. That we are taxed at 50% because 30% is just what I pay on my income tax straight before I don't even get to see it. Before my employer gives me my money that I work my dick off for every week, the government goes and takes it. I don't even see it. So that's 30%. Then you get taxed on every purchase you make. You pay your income, you pay your personal property tax, your vehicle. I've never had a vehicle with a payment for fucking 15 fucking years. I drive 20 plus year old vehicles, and every single one of them I have to pay property tax on. I pay the government just because I own a vehicle. Think about that. Your gas, you pay tax on gas, you pay tax on your food, you pay tax on everything. If you sell something used, they want you to pay tax on that. Everything. So we are literally by the time it's all said and done, we're taxed at about 50% of our money. That's slavery. That is slavery. The education indoctrination system, I have plenty of videos going in over that. I'm not going to go too deep into that. But again, that's where they imbue you with their propaganda and their false science and their false history. Guys, nothing in history is true. Everything in history is written by the people, the controllers. They're not going to give you anything and teach you anything that goes against what their propaganda is and the purpose for their abusive mechanisms of control. They're not going to tell you that, we actually, this war was about this. It wasn't about that. This war was about this. It wasn't about. They're not going to tell you that, guys. You have to learn this on your own. All the information is out there, okay? It's pretty much out there. But again, those are rabbit holes. This isn't conducive to your healing to sit there and jump down all these rabbit holes and learn why every war was actually fought and why every this was done and why every conflict here and why the CIA was set up and why that was set up and why it's non-conducive to your healing. But learning about these things, if you're struggling with your faith and belief, and which keeps you entrapped under the government's control, the mind control's control, then these are things that may help you to research and look into. And anything that is towing the line of painting us as the good guys is propaganda. It's all part of the propaganda system. So in the education indoctrination system, again, they are purposefully indoctrinating you with their propaganda. Everything they've told you is a lie. Everything that they've said, they've taught you in school, they've changed. Everything's changed. Since I've been in school in the 80s, 90s, everything's changed. The things my kids are learning are completely different now. The history's different. The science is different. This is different. That's different. It's all different. So how can they sit there and tell you and act like the experts when they're constantly changing things, right? Okay, the pay for stay jail. And then also one more thing on the education indoctrination system. They test you daily for compliance. They test you daily to make sure that you're paying attention and properly intaking their propaganda. and properly intaking their bullshit. And if you can't sit still, if you don't comply, if you don't, they are abusing you by telling your parents that you need to be on medications, highly toxic medications, to get you to fucking sit down and shut up and listen and take in their shit. So it's completely abusive. Pay for state jails and prisons, privately owned prisons in the United States. You guys, if you've never looked that up, I'm not even going to go into it. It's disgusting. Again, we have the highest prison population in the world by far. We have so many innocent people in prison. It's unbelievable. We have so many people in prison for smoking a plant or minor offenses that where no harm was caused to anybody or their property, and yet we have people imprisoned, enslaved, literally enslaved, like physically enslaved, can't move around, can't choose what to put in their mouth, can't choose when they go, out of their cell, that type of thing. So I won't even go into that, but if you're interested in looking at it, pay for state jails, the fake prison industry, the private prison industry, for-profit industry, for-profit prisons. Fake space. Again, we went to space. I've done so many videos on this fake space back in the 60s, 70s. But somehow we can't get back. Your experts are telling you now that instead of the Earth being round, it's pear-shaped. Your experts are telling you all photos of the Earth from space are CGI rendered. And that comes directly from NASA. NASA tells you, listen, all of our photos from space are CGI rendered. So they literally are telling you, yeah, we created these photos. We faked them. They're fake. It's fantasy land. It takes a real special idiot to, once they open up to the fact that we've been lied to about space, that to still believe the government lie that we've lost the technology, and that the president at the time was able to, I think it was Lyndon Johnson, who fuck knows, but I think he was able to talk on the phone to the astronauts, however far away they say the fucking moon is, millions of miles, God even knows, all their fucking lies. And then to believe this thing's spinning like this with curved water sitting on it, and this stupid ass theory of gravity. Gravity's still a theory. It's because it's all bullshit. So again, fake space. I have videos where I go deeper into that. I'm not getting into that. Medical interventions, we won't go into that. They completely tell you that, they completely disregard the body's ability to heal itself. When you go to the doctor never asks you can be 400 pounds. That doctor doesn't say a goddamn thing about what you're eating or your exercise or what, your way of living. They just want to give you pills. It's all about pills. So, again, the medical industrial complex, the medical interventions, their jabs don't do anything. Their jabs are actually, they're jabbing you with the thing. The virus theory is just that. It's a theory. It's a 100% lie. And I think I'll stop there and start another one.